Hey guys, welcome back to the Sonic Hack Showcase. Today I'll be revisiting a hack I've mentioned before, made to you by the Michael Bay of Sonic hacks, Selby. But unlike Michael Bay, he can still add those explosions while keeping the original feel of Sonic intact. If you don't mind some mental insanity added as well. Now, one of the things that people point out when they play or see this hack is the opening cutscene, and the fact that the hack has an opening cutscene is pretty cool. It's something that not many hacks experiment with, which is kind of a shame. Even though it's short, it adds a nice little bit of atmosphere to the hack itself. And in this case, it sets up the fact that shit is going down. And then it gives you a brief description on what is actually happening. So you can pause if you care or play the hack yourself, but we're going to just continue on with the hack itself. Chapter 1. Run to the hills. Now, before, when I showed off this hack, it was kind of a bit unstructured. The levels just flung you into the brink of it, and that was kind of it, without any warning or what the fuck is going on here, and it was very ruthless. This hack isn't much different, albeit it still throws you into the deep end of the pool, but it does kind of set you up a little bit better, and the difficulty has been toned down ever so slightly. There still are some difficult parts, but they're more legitimate difficulty rather than fucking spikes out of nowhere. So, let's talk about the actual hack itself. Visually, there hasn't been too many changes. The actual style of Green Hill Zone looks a little bit different, with some different lighting into the actual textures, but essentially it still feels like Green Hill Zone. The bandits, on the other hand, like before, are now machines of death. To a point, I often find myself not being able to kill the buzz bombers behind the waterfall. I don't know if that's because they're not weak to normal jumps and only homing attacks. I actually think that's a legitimate thing, but I'll have to really get Selby's word on that because they seem to be indestructible. Word of advice on that part, just double jump all the way through it. For some reason, when you do hit them normally, although the bandits don't get destroyed, they won't hurt you. So just jump and pretend it doesn't exist. So in general, the graphics aren't changed much, and in the later levels they're really not changed either, but there are some minor differences, which kind of make it stand out. But this really isn't the kind of hack that's going for an artistic feel, it's going for more gameplay. So let's talk about some of the mechanics and the way Sonic has changed. Well, he has a few moves. He has a double jump, which can be activated by pressing B while in midair, and a homing attack, which can be activated by pressing C mid-jump. Now, the double jump is very useful as it can give you that extra height and distance of the jump you may need, and the homing attack is useful against things like monitors and badniks to be able to get you that little boost in the right direction. The homing attack, as far as I'm aware, can be directed down, though I'm not sure if it can be directed in any other directions. Now, I find this boss to be quite amusing sometimes as it glitches out on me and gives me two bosses. I don't know if this was intentional or if it's just a glitch, but it makes this fight a lot better. Also, it's like a mini-boss in the game, which doesn't happen too often in the hacks that I play nowadays. Nor did it happen much in the originals. But thankfully, when you get hit, you don't lose all your rings at once, or else this hack would be unbelievable. But it is an interesting take on an old enemy, the crab meat, to instantly become a badass. Also, a nice thing is we've instantly gone into the second act without any loading or end credits. You just go straight into it because the game ain't over yet. Sonic also has the spin dash available in this game, and I'm not sure if he has the super peel out because, to be honest, I never bothered trying. I understand now why people think the super peel out was useful in CD, but in hacks it generally isn't because, unlike in CD, the spin dash is still worth a damn. And I'm not 100% sure if the A button does anything different either. Sonic in general feels a lot faster, which I can only assume means that the speed cap has been removed. And then we have the S boxes, which are the most interesting feature of this hack. Now, hitting an S box allows Sonic to become, well, invincible, and sparkly, and spinny. Pressing the A button while in this form actually does something. It allows you to shoot a bullet in the direction that you press, don't know why, and it also allows you to bounce mid-air in the direction you're holding while pressing A. So if you jump and press up and A, you will bounce up. Alright, There's also a funny little glitch that if you die here, you'll start running automatically as if it thinks you've completed the stage, and then you can just beat it again, and Robotnik gets a bit glitched out. I can tell due to level design it wasn't intended for you to spin dash off that and die, but it's quite interesting fighting Robotnik when he doesn't have a face. Another thing this hack has going for it is difficulty. As I stated before, this game is rather difficult, but he has slightly lowered the difficulty beforehand. This special stage, for example, used to be one try only. You failed at it, that was it. There used to be a lot more cheat moments where you would be kind of forced into spikes, but that's kind of been removed now. But now Selby has gone for more legitimate challenge and actual timing required to beat the stages. Doesn't mean he's still not a sadistic bastard. And of course I mean that in the nicest way possible. So let me point out some things you should expect to see in this hack. A section where if you get hit by spikes you restart to a checkpoint that you have to bounce your way through. You're also constantly running out of rings, by the way. A water level that if you jump up higher, the camera scrolls up but does not scroll down, and if you fall off, you die. As if water levels weren't evil enough. This level was originally my stopping point when I first played this version. I was like, no, screw this, I'm not playing this anymore. But I did prevail in the end. It takes some getting used to and kind of figuring out where to go, but it's a bit trial and error. That's why there are extra lives dotted around the map. And then you have what used to be a fun and easy Sonic 1 boss turned into hell. I love this thing. It's so awesome. All in all, the hack is extremely fast-paced and fun to play, even though things can get a bit crazy. And I'd love to see some extra work done on it to not only add extra levels, but also something to do with Supersonic. In the special stage, you gather all of the emeralds all at once, so I figured there was going to be some Supersonic includement. Maybe even a whole level just devoted to Supersonic, so maybe the whole game doesn't have to be based around him. But if it did have Supersonic, I think it should have that really evil fucking crazy Supersonic from the comics. The one that just wants to go around and destroy everything. But I definitely can't wait to see what Selby does with the hack, or if he does any other hacks. This has been Sonic ERaZor, and I'll see you next time on the next Sonic Hack Showcase.